4 months after the martyrdoms of Gumbursa and with Doña Teodora is still in prison, Jose, who had not yet celebrated his 11th birthday, was sent to Manila. Jose studied in Ateneo Municipal, a college under the supervision of Spanish Jesuit. Ateneo Municipal, better rival of Dominican-owned College of San Juan de Letran. Escuela Pia, it means charity school. Formerly named of Ateneo, a school for poor boys in Manila which was established by the city government in 1817. When the Jesuit had been expelled from the Philippines in 1768 and returned in 1859, they were given the management of Escuela Pia, whose name was changed to Ateneo Municipal, and later became the Ateneo de Manila. The Jesuits were considered the best educator of Spain and perhaps of Europe, and so when they were permitted to return to the Philippines, although their power to administer parishes was restricted except in the remote region of Mindanao, the privilege of founding college, they had to apply to the city of Manila for subsidies. That's why the college, which began to function in year 1865, was called the Ateneo Municipal. On June 10, 1872, Jose, accompanied by Pasiano, went to Manila to take the entrance examination on Christian doctrine, reading, writing, grammar, and elementary arithmetic. Jose did not take his entrance examination. Jose did not remain in Manila but returned first to his town to celebrate the fiesta of its patron saint. It was then that his father changed his mind and decided to send him to the Ateneo instead. Father Magin Fernando, college registrar of Ateneo Municipal during that time, refused to admit Jose because of two reasons. First, he was late for registration, and second, he was sickly and undersized for his age, which is 11 years old. However, upon the intercession of Manuel Ceres Burgos, the nephew of Father Burgos, upon his intercession, Jose Rizal was admitted at Ateneo. Jose was the first of his family to adopt the surname is Rizal. He registered this name at Ateneo because their family name Mercado had come under suspicion of the Spanish authorities. Jose boarded in a house on Caraballo Street, owned by Titay, who owed Rizal family the amount of 300 pesos.
The Jesuitical system of instruction was considered more advanced than that of other colleges in the epoch. Its discipline was rigid and its method less mechanical. It introduced physical culture as part of its program as well as the civilization of the arts, such as music, drawing, and painting. It also establishes vocational courses in agriculture, commerce, and mechanics. As a religious institute, its principal purpose was to mold the character and the will of the boys to comply more easily with the precepts of the church. The students heard Mass before the beginning of the class, which was open and closed with prayers. Fourth year in Ateneo. In the fourth year of his course, he had Father Francisco Sanchez as professor. Jose described him as a model of rectitude, a solicitude, and love for the student. And he studied mathematics, rhetoric, and Greek, and he must have progressed much, for at the end of the year, he obtained 5 medals, which pleased him immensely because with them I could repay my father somewhat for his sacrifices. His aptitude for poetry revealed itself early, and from that time on he did not cease to cultivate it.
Last year of Rizal in Ateneo. In the 5th years, Jose had other professors, Father Villaclara and Manivis. He studied philosophy, physics, chemistry, and natural history, but his devotion to poetry was such that his professor in philosophy advised him once to leave it, which made him cry. But in his rest hours, he continued cultivating the muses under the direction of his old professor, Father Sanchez. Jose had then written a short story, Leyenda, which was only slightly corrected by his professor in the dialogue, which was enacted at the end of the course, alluding to the collegians' farewell. However, philosophy just ensued, inquiring into the war forces of kings, interested him as much as poetry, physics, drawing back to the bill that divine drama of nature was enacted. Natural history seemed to him somewhat uninteresting, although he much liked the shells and he sometimes imagined seeing a goddess in his shell. He was the shelf. Jose was considered small of stature, and he tried to correct this defect by applying himself regularly to gymnastics